Welcome and thank you for joining. This is Legacy's orientation to the ADR process. Welcome to Legacy's orientation to the ADR process. Before we go over the ADR process, let's first answer the question, what is an ADR? ADR stands for Additional Development Request. It is a request by the Medicare Administrative Contractor, or MAC, for the medical records to be sent for review. This request could come from Medicare before payment is made on the claim, or it could come after payment is made on the claim. But let's remember, it is not a denial. It is simply a request for the medical records. So I'm sure you are wondering why and/or when would you receive an ADR? ADRs could be given randomly by the MACs as an auditing tool to determine if the provider is billing appropriately. They may also be given specifically to a particular provider if unethical billing practices are suspected. However, most ADRs are due to the American Taxpayer Relief Act, ATRA, which was enacted on January 2, 2013. The Taxpayer Relief Act, ATRA, mandated the MACs to conduct prepayment reviews of claims over the threshold processed between January 1, 2013 and March 31, 2013. The threshold was set at $3,700 for occupational therapy and $3,700 for physical therapy and speech therapy combined. Effective April 1, 2013, the Recovery Auditor Contractors, or RACs, were to review all claims exceeding the threshold. And this was accomplished by splitting the states up into post-pay review states and prepay review states. Prepayment review simply means that the medical records will need to be reviewed to ensure proper billing before payment may be made. There are currently 11 states under prepayment review. Legacy has contracts in 5 of those states. Those 5 are Texas, Illinois, Ohio, North Carolina, and Missouri. The RAC has 10 business days to review the records and to make a decision. Once they've made a decision, they will notify the MAC, who then will in turn notify the provider. Post-payment review means that CMS will grant an exception for all of the claims with a KX modifier and will pay the claim upon receipt. The RAC will then conduct a post-payment manual medical review on those claims exceeding the established threshold. If the state is not listed as one of the 11 prepayment review states, it is considered a post-payment review state. Legacy has contracts in 4 of those states: Colorado, South Carolina, Indiana, and Virginia. Now that we've answered the question, what is an ADR, and we know why and/or when we would receive an ADR, let's take a closer look at an actual ADR letter. This is the first page of an ADR. As you can see, it states clearly at the top of the page, Additional Development Request. The first page provides you with all of the pertinent information, such as the patient's name, Medicare number or HIC number, as well as the total dollar amount of the claim. This claim, for example, is for the dates of service October 2, 2013 to October 31, 2013. And if you look at the yellow arrow, you will see a very important date, the date the ADR was originated. This ADR originated on December 3rd of 2013. We use this date to determine when the ADR is due. Although there is a due date on the ADR, it does not reflect when the medical records are actually due to the RAC. The medical records must be submitted within 30 days from the date it was originated. Therefore, this ADR is due on January 1st of 2014. The second page of the ADR usually explains the reason for the ADR, where to send the records, what types of documents need to be sent, as well as the number of days to provide the requested information. In this case, if you look at the first yellow arrow, you will see that it states they cannot complete the processing of the claim without further medical review. This means it is a prepayment review ADR. It also states that the reason for the ADR is due to exceeding the $3,700 threshold. Now look at the second yellow arrow, and you will see that we have 30 days to submit the records to the RAC. The RAC is disclosed below, and in this case, it is Connolly Healthcare. So now that we know what an ADR is, and why or when we could receive one, let's learn what we need to do when it comes. This section is called the ADR process for rehab agency sites. The Compliance Department receives daily emails informing them of recent ADRs from Medicare. Upon receiving this information, they send out an email to the rehab director, the area rehab manager, and the regional vice president to share this information. The email contains the name of the patient's Medicare number, the amount of the claim, and the dates of service, along with a checklist of documents that are needed to comply with the ADR. Every email will provide a deadline for this information to be checked and uploaded into SMART. The only documents that need to be uploaded into SMART are the MD-signed orders, the MD-signed 700s, and the MD-signed 701s. All other documents can be obtained from SMART by the Compliance Department. Making sure that all the necessary documents are uploaded and correctly labeled will increase the efficiency of the process and reduce the number of denied claims. Use the checklist provided with each email to make sure that all the necessary documentation is complete. The ADR packet will be compiled and electronically submitted to the appropriate MAC or RAC by the Compliance Department. This is an example of the checklist that will accompany all the emails notifying you of an ADR. As you can see, it lists the documents that need to be uploaded into SMART, the documents that need to be completed in SMART, as well as who you may contact if you have a question or a concern. Once the Compliance Department has compiled the ADR and electronically submitted it, they will update SMART with the date the packet was sent. They will also upload the ADR packet into SMART for future reference in case the claim is later denied. The ADR packet will be located in the Appeals section under the patient's name and the dates of service in the subheading Attachments, which is located on the left side of the screen. If for some reason the packet isn't there and you're in need of it, please contact the Compliance Department and they will email it to you. The next 4 screens will provide you with a visual step-by-step guide to obtaining the ADR packet uploaded in SMART by the Compliance Department. So first, you would click on the Facility tab, and then second, you would click on the Appeals tab. Once you are in the Appeals section of SMART, type the patient's name in the search box. As you type the name, it will bring up the patient's facility and name below, showing the number of claims under review. Click on the name and it will highlight in green. The claims under review will also show up on the right. Now, click on the dates of service of the claim in question, and SMART will take you to the ADR appeal status for this claim. Once you are in the ADR appeals screen for your claim, all you have to do is go down and click on Attachments. Any uploaded packets will appear in the location of the yellow arrow below. If for some reason they are not there and you are in need of them, please remember to contact the Compliance Department and the ADR packet will be emailed to you. This next section goes over the ADR process for our skilled nursing facility sites. This process differs greatly from our rehab agency sites. The reason for this is that Legacy bills Medicare for the rehab agency sites. However, the billing for the SNF sites is provided by the facility. Since the facility is responsible for the billing, we must rely on the facility to provide us with up-to-date information. To assist the facility with this task, the rehab director or a member of our Legacy team at the facility will need to check weekly with the facility for any new ADRs or denials. It is recommended to use the Denial Notification Query Log to document these weekly verifications. This form can be found on Legacy's intranet under Denials Management. This is an example of the Denial Notification Query Log, which can be found on Legacy's intranet under the Denials Management section. Once you have been notified from the facility of an ADR, please update the Appeals section of SMART with this information. If you have never done this before and need guidance, contact the Compliance Department and they can walk you through this process. Next, you will need to compile the necessary documents for the ADR using the SNF ADR checklist. After completing the ADR packet, make a copy in case the ADR is denied. Now you are ready to submit the ADR packet to the facility to be mailed. If the facility does not provide this service, please contact the Compliance Department for a mailing address if you will need to mail the ADR packet. You will also need to update SMART with the date the packet was given to the facility or the date it was mailed by Legacy. If the facility mails the packet, you will also need to update SMART with the date that the packet was mailed by the facility. The next 2 pages are simply an example of the SNF ADR checklist. This portion of the checklist shows the documents you will need to include in your ADR packet. This portion of the SNF ADR checklist provides additional information such as the numbering of pages, how to mail the packet, where to put the mail receipt, and making sure the tracking number is checked online and that the verification of delivery is printed to show that the packet was in fact received. To obtain this checklist, you can go to Legacy's intranet under Denials Management and print a copy of the checklist. And that concludes the orientation to the ADR process. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact the Compliance Department by phone or email, as we are here to assist you with this process.